You know, everybody has a perception of what cancer is and how people look when they have cancer, and he defied that. I think, you know, he didn't let cancer define him. He didn't let cancer define him.
Bo Berglund was a hockey player in Pine City who died of brain cancer at the age of 25 in 2009. But his story begins earlier in Tucson, Arizona, where his mother, Barbara, grew up.
In Tucson, Hughes Aircraft dumped toxic chemicals into the desert, so they got a permit from the federal government, and they dumped it really close to South Tucson.
The chemicals contaminated the South Tucson groundwater, resulting in numerous cases of cancer. The disease claimed Barbara's brother and her stepfather. In the mid-1980s, she, too, received the devastating diagnosis.
I just remember being in grade school and coming out of school and my dad having found out about it, and he was picking us all up from school because we just had this blank look on his face, and he just kept staring out the window, and I was like, what's going on? And he had said, your mom has a brain tumor.
The toxic chemicals had caused an extremely rare genetic mutation known as Li-Fraumeni syndrome, which greatly increases a person's risk of cancer and can be passed down from one generation to the next. When Barbara Berglund lost her battle in 1992, she left behind 3 children: son Jade, daughter Holly, and the youngest, Bo, who had just turned 8 years old and was passionate about hockey.
I played hockey all the way through high school. I started when I was about 3, 4 years old, and my brother Bo just followed in my footsteps, and he started when he was, I think, 3, 4 years old, and just wanted to be like his older brother, and played all the way through high school and just loved the game of hockey.
But Bo and his siblings couldn't escape Li-Fraumeni syndrome or the events of South Tucson so many years before. Holly began having symptoms in 1998.
I'd gone to Edgefest, and I actually had taken Bo there, and it was just something that we did every year. And I remember sitting up on the hill, and I was having double vision. I couldn't see anything, and if I used one eye, I could see just fine. But if I used both of them, I couldn't see. It was just awful. And I remember sitting up on the hill with Bo, and he kept looking at me. He goes, "Would you get your eyes checked?"
In June of 1999, an MRI at Regions Hospital in St. Paul revealed that Holly had a brain tumor, a diagnosis that led to examinations for Jade and Bo. She was in her grandparents' basement when the results came in.
And I remember Bo coming down and then Jade coming down. I'm like, okay, well, that's normal. And then I saw Dad, and I'm like, okay, this is different. They don't ever come down to the basement to talk to me. And I looked at Bo, and I remember his eyes being red. And Jade sat down next to me, and Bo sat down on the other side, and Jade put his hand on my leg, and he said, we both have them.
Jade and Bo underwent surgery one day apart in Minneapolis. Bo was 15 at the time and anxious to resume his favorite pastimes.
He loved fishing, he loved hunting with his brother, and he loved hockey. That was his 3 loves in life.
He always looking to catch that bigger fish or shoot that bigger buck than you, and was always out in the woods doing something, was always outside. Just loved the outdoors. He didn't really let it get to him. He didn't really let everybody know that he was, either hurting inside or suffering at all. He was just happy every day to wake up in the morning and go on with life.
It was a life that included a vow to finish his high school hockey career.
He never let it get him down. He was always positive and stuck with the game, and he was always happy. He was always ready to play, and no matter what, he wanted to be on the ice.
During hockey, he'd get checked, and he'd always have to get the guy back. Well, we knew he had a brain tumor at the time, and it just scared the hell out of all of us whenever he would get in a little altercation. And a couple times he ended up against the boards out here, and it took your breath away.
In the summer of 2009, Bo was living with his grandfather, Jim Berglund.
One morning he didn't show up for breakfast, and I thought, I gotta go see what's going on. So I went in his bedroom, and he wasn't there. So I thought, well, I wonder what happened to Bo, and he didn't make any noise or anything. So then I checked the bathroom, and there he was laying on the floor, and he had his hands on his, holding his head in terrible pain. I told him, I said, I'm going to call the ambulance, and he said, yeah.
Bo Berglund died 2 days later, on August 7, 2009. Funeral services were held before a packed house at the Pine City Civic Center.
That was the most special day. It was unbelievable. This arena here was absolutely packed. All the stands, around the glass, everybody was here.
In the months after Bo passed away, childhood friend Cody Youngbauer started a hockey tournament in his honor. Heavily supported by the people of Pine City, the tournament raises scholarship dollars for area high school players. And a family weekend for young and old alike is filled with hockey, potluck, and loving memories of Bo Berglund.
Oh, I think it means a lot to the family and community just to keep Bo alive. I mean, I can't even take his number off my cell phone. He's just still part of us.
He was amazing. I don't know how, an older sibling can look up to a younger one, but I do. The best little brother that you could have. I mean, if you could pick to have one, he would be it.